On the night of August 26, 2023, a 25-year-old woman from Norcross, Georgia named Mitchel Dang got dressed up, filmed a quick video for her vlog, and headed into downtown Atlanta for a night out. Everyone who knew her described her as the kind of person who lit up every room she walked into. 4 days later, her body was found stuffed under a stairwell in a downtown parking garage less than a block from the Fulton County Justice Center building. This is the story of what happened to Mitchel Dang, the man who killed her, and the nearly 3 years it took to reach a verdict. Mitchel Dang was the oldest of 3 sisters. Her parents had immigrated from Vietnam and built a life in Norcross, Georgia, a suburb northeast of Atlanta. Mitchel lived at home with her parents and sisters, and her youngest sister, Maggie, later described her as the big sister who gave advice about everything. Mitchel had recently started a YouTube channel where she shared glimpses of her everyday life. She loved dancing and house music, and on the night of August 26th, she was headed to Alley Cat, Atlanta, a venue on Lower Alabama Street in the heart of downtown Atlanta. That night, the featured DJ was Victor Calderon, a Grammy-winning producer out of New York City. Before leaving the house, Mitchel recorded a short video. She looked into the camera, showed off her outfit, and said she was excited for the night. She had no idea that video would eventually be played in a Fulton County courtroom as evidence. When Mitchel didn't come home that Saturday night, her family wasn't immediately alarmed. She was 25 years old and they wanted to give her her space. But when she still hadn't returned by Sunday and they couldn't reach her, the worry started to set in. By the early part of the week, her family contacted Atlanta police and reported her missing. On Wednesday, August 30th, 4 days after she was last seen leaving from the club, officers were dispatched to a call at 75 Martin Luther King Drive, which sits directly across the street from the Fulton County Justice Center in downtown Atlanta. The call came in as a person down in a nearby parking garage. When officers arrived, they found a nude and decomposing body hidden under a stairwell inside the structure. It was Mitchel Dang. Her father, Meulen Dang, summed up what the family was feeling in just a few words.
Awful because she just enjoy herself and life, music, We just enjoy it. She not deserve something like this.
Atlanta police quickly determined that this was a homicide, and the investigation focused on surveillance footage from the area around Alley Cat and the surrounding streets of downtown Atlanta. And what that footage showed was significant. It captured Mitchel leaving the club in the early morning hours of August 27th, and it showed a man approaching her almost immediately after she stepped outside. That man was Jakevius Arnold, a 24-year-old who at the time was working as a temp at the DeKalb County Animal Services building. What made this even more strange was the fact that he had no prior relationship with Mitchel. He was a complete stranger. According to police, Arnold walked up to her and asked her if she needed any help, presenting himself as a good Samaritan to a young woman who appeared disoriented after a night out. Instead of helping her, he led her to a stairwell inside the nearby parking garage, where what followed was an attack that is almost impossible to comprehend. A warrant for Arnold's arrest was issued on September 19, 2023, and 3 days later, on September 22nd, police arrested him at his workplace in Chamblee, and he was taken into custody without incident. When Arnold appeared in court for his preliminary hearing on October 13, 2023, the full scope of what prosecutors alleged he had done began to come out in detail. He was formally charged with murder, felony murder, aggravated assault, false imprisonment, kidnapping, aggravated sexual battery, necrophilia, financial transaction theft, and robbery. 9 charges in total. Homicide detective Jerion Shepard testified about what Arnold had allegedly confessed to after his arrest. According to the detective, Arnold choked Mitchel until she lost consciousness, then sexually assaulted her. When she regained consciousness during the assault, he choked her again until she died. He then removed her clothing and sexually assaulted her corpse for, in the detective's words, at least 20 minutes.
And what did he say happened next? At that point, he said he stripped her clothes. I asked her why he stripped her of her clothes. He said because of DNA. He said he watches TV, he watches how we investigate cases. He took all of her clothes, stuffed it in his boot bag. He stuffed her naked body up under the stairwell. He grabbed some newspaper, tried to cover her head. He said he walked out of the parking deck. He broke her phone, threw it away, realized he left his sunglasses up under her body, went went back to the body, picked the body up, grabbed his sunglasses, stuffed her body more up under the stairwell, and that's when he left.
As Detective Shepard described these details in open court, Mitchell's family sat in the gallery and broke into tears. There is also testimony suggesting this was not Arnold's first offense. The detective stated that Arnold admitted to 2 additional sexual assaults under similar circumstances, both involving women walking alone at night in DeKalb County. Investigators noted at the time that he may have committed even more crimes that hadn't yet been connected to him. Either way, the judge felt that they had found sufficient probable cause to move forward with the case. Arnold also went on to be denied bond and was held in the Fulton County Jail, where he would remain throughout the entire legal process. In January 2024, a grand jury formally indicted Arnold on all 9 charges. Mitchell's sister Mary said she received the news on her birthday and called it the best birthday present she could have asked for. Knowing that they indicted him, it feels like a sense of relief, she said. But she was also clear-eyed about what was still ahead. We're all stuck, she said. We're all stuck until the final verdict. Throughout the months between the indictment and trial, the Dang family continued honoring Mitchell publicly. On New Year's Day 2024, Mary and other family members and friends laced up their running shoes and ran a 1-mile race in her memory, because Mitchell and Mary used to run together. Mary said that during the race, it felt like Mitchell was with her the entire time. The case eventually went to trial in Fulton County, and in 2026, Jakevius Arnold was convicted of kidnapping, murder, and the sexual assault of Mitchel Dang. The evidence against him included the surveillance footage from the night of August 26th, body cam video from officers involved in the investigation, and Arnold's own statements to police after his arrest. And he would go on to be sentenced to life in prison. Mitchel Dang was 25 years old. She went out on a Saturday night to hear music she loved and dance, and she never came home. Her family spent almost 3 years watching the case move through the court system, holding each other together through every hearing, every continuance, and every moment in that courtroom where they had to sit and listen to details no family should ever have to hear. Her sister Mary said something early on that has stayed with a lot of people who followed this case. She pointed out that Mitchell could have been anyone.
She could be anybody. She could be anybody's daughter, anybody's sister, just walking in the streets of Atlanta, and it could just happen.
Jakevius Arnold is spending the rest of his life in prison, and Mitchel Dang's family is left trying to rebuild around a loss that should never have happened. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching and listening, and taking the time to learn about Mitchel Dang's case. What's very interesting is there wasn't a lot of information about the actual court proceedings. Everything leading up to that is pretty well documented, but everything after that kind of just goes dark. But that's what videos like this are for, and other videos on YouTube that you can find about this case. It's to give people as much information as possible and just let that story be out there and seen and heard so that it doesn't just disappear. So again, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. Let me know what you think about it. And again, just thank you. But other than that, like always, I'll see you next video.